Without any further delay, we are just in the nick of time for the toss that will happen between India and England at the Barsapara Stadium. The second day of the World Cup warm-ups yesterday, a bit of a damn squib in Thiruvananthapuram where South Africa versus Afghanistan was abandoned. Without a ball being bowled. Australia versus Netherlands, that's also in threat. It's still
and
pouring.
India won the toss.
Yep, and they might want to bat
or bowl.
I think bowl should be the ideal thing because yesterday what happened, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh at Barsapara at the same stadium, Sri Lanka collapsed. The wicket became slightly more slower and sluggish for stroke play as the game progressed, but with the dew coming in at that time it became easier to bat on. So I think India will be looking to
they're batting first.
And also, truth be told, I think, these are games where the result isn't going to matter.
Yeah.
They're not official matches.
The numbers aren't going to matter. The results are not going to matter.
This is all about practice.
This is about practice. This is about loosening the joints. Tightening the screws.
It's not actually saying that you're going to go into this match with some psychological brownie points. Because remember, if you win a warm-up, kind of gives you the edge.
But if you lose also, I don't think it really matters.
Pakistan will testify to that. I mean, in 1992, they won only one out of their 4 warm-up games. And look, they went on to win the title. Even in the 2022 World T20, you would remember, Pakistan lost to England in that warm-up fixture. And what happened? They reached the final.
And then again lost to England.
Again lost to England. So that's why it is... This World Cup warm-ups, let us not take anything very seriously about what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a positive, there's no point hanging on to it, and even negative, unless I think, and this is where analysis comes into play, unless it's something that is a long-standing problem. See, if it's a bad one-off, someone doesn't get runs or anything, I don't think it really matters because again, as I said, these are practice games. There's not going to be limitations on how many people bat, how many people bowl. There's nothing of that sort.
All 15 can bat, all 15 can bowl depending upon the situation. If you hit a 50, they can retire and then get the others to come in.
Exactly.
For example, Williamson yesterday for New Zealand, he scored 54, retired immediately after that.
Wait, if he was batting in the warm-up.
But his knee is not 100%.
He was only batting.
Batted?
He only batted and he explained that why it won't, I can't be available because it is not about batting and spending time in the crease. When you run and then you turn and then you take for a second, that's where he's still experiencing pain. So he doesn't want to aggravate it any further. That's why he will miss. I think he will continue the same way. He will play New Zealand, South Africa, the warm-up. And he'll miss the England match. I think their next game is on the 9th, if I'm not mistaken, New Zealand after that. Perhaps get into battle mode for that.
But I think he's already been clear now that he said that they're not going to be opener he's missing. So yeah, next best case scenario would be the second match.
But again, they found a new, if there's one positive that they can take, not to read too much into it, Rachin Ravindra, what a knock, 97
but
yesterday.
To be fair, Rachin Ravindra has been a little underrated with the bat in recent times. For New Zealand.
And he's also a part-time opener. He has done it in the past also. So Rachin Ravindra did well, and in this particular game, why Barsapara will be important is if anybody had a look at the Sri Lanka-Bangladesh encounter. What happened was that starting it was a belter to bat on, but then it became slower and lower. When dew came in, which is why I'm surprising India could have chosen to bowl. I'll tell you why. Chasing is England's forte also. They know what's the target and they know how to approach it. Maybe maybe they would want to prepare for the fact, how can we defend? Correct. Suppose India or England are playing at Ekana on October 29th. What's going to happen there? So
and Ekana, by the way, is going to be a major unknown.
Yeah.
You don't really know what that pitch is going to play like anymore.
Yes, it's been relayed, so we have no idea because Ekana anyway isn't very well known for its pitches.
You remember how it was during the IPL?
It was bad.
It was terrible.
It was
hard to bat.
That game against Mumbai Indians was an okayish pitch. We got to 170. It turned out to be a thriller, but unfortunately that didn't turn out in that way. But yes, it was a slow, low deck. Lot of trouble. The most number of low scoring games happened at Ekana.
In fact, the team who were most troubled by the Ekana were ironically the Lucknow Super Giants. A team full of stroke makers and they're playing on that trick.
Yep. And Mubarak Siddiq is from Kuwait. He's been waiting for us. So hi Mubarak. Thanks for joining us from Kuwait. And let's see how India shapes up at this time, because See, this is a key warm-up game because you're playing against the defending champions.
And a team who knocked you out of the semis of the most recent World Cup.
Oh yeah, 2022. They didn't knock you out. They
They
kicked
hammered
you out.
Yeah.
They kicked you out in.
If there's anything to look forward to in this match, since you know we've been talking about that this is a warm-up game, results don't really matter. But what I, as a fan, would be looking at today will be what kind of intent India goes with. That's all I want to see. I don't care if there's a I don't know if there's a what do you call it, a batting collapse or whatever. But if they're going with this sort of aggressive intent that they have been, the kind of cricket that India has been playing for the past few games, if they go on with that, if they continue with that, that will be the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Intent is going to be the most important.
That is the only thing you can judge today.
See, England are going to play vintage baseball style.
They won there. You know how they won.
Yeah, I mean, in that game against Ireland, 2 games were washed out. 280 in 31 overs. They had absolutely raced to. You are again looking at a 450 plus total.
You were worried about them scoring 500 in the last ODI.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You genuinely thought at one point the clip they were going at, like, oh, okay. And I think the other thing which would be worth noting is,
Oh,
that's Thiruvananthapuram.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh
Panic
boy,
attack.
it's not good in Thiruvananthapuram at all. Ew. Look at the wet patches on the outfield.
Already.
And remember, India's next warm-up game is at Thiruvananthapuram
And also
against the Netherlands.
Also remember the fact that this is not Sri Lanka, this is India. The whole ground is not being covered, and hence
It's not looking
the
good. I think
patches.
Australia versus Netherlands also, I think, is going to be a washout. It's not looking
Yeah,
good
yeah,
at
yeah.
all.
That's-
And South Africa's game also against New Zealand at the same venue. Not looking good. The weather is not looking good until 5th there.
That's not good.
And remember, it's the time of the northeast monsoon. You're going to see a retreating monsoon. Don't be surprised if the game in Chennai is also impacted by rain. Don't be surprised because organizing games in October in Chennai, very, very weird. But why did they have to do it? I really don't understand. So, yep, this is the entire batting 11 and fielding 11. That's what's been released. But anybody can
that's
come
both
in.
of them. That's what I'm saying. I think both teams have gone with their full 15.
Yep.
And they're just going to judge the situation and just send anyone to get some time in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
That is why I said for matches like these, you really can't look at the result.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a match. It's more practice and time to just for the teams to kind of get acclimatized more than anything else.
Absolutely. So Nikhil will be also joining us pretty shortly. It'll be interesting to see what are his inputs on it. So
Yeah, but I think for England also, we know they've had, I think one of the favourite sides for me coming in, we know they're a strong team. But I think now, depending on who it is you get to see bat, who it is you get to see bowl, it gives you a good indication because they do have options. And I'm not even talking about the batting, more particularly the bowling.
Yep.
Because again, if you're looking at the pure bowlers that they have, really, I think they're blessed to have so many all-rounders that in their full 11, they only have 4 full-time bowlers.
Yep.
There's Adil Rashid, Gus Atkinson,
Wood.
Reece Stockley and Mark Wood. Those are their 4 full-time bowlers. The rest,
Although
everyone...
Mark Wood can tonk.
No, of course he can tong. That was
Yeah.
what I'm saying. In fact, for that matter, even Adil Rashid is a very
Yes.
handy bat. But I'm just saying that otherwise 4 full-time bowlers and the rest of it will come from the all-rounders. Wokes, Curran, Stokes won't be bowling, but Livingston will. So that's the thing.
And we are joined by Nikhil from for this match. And Nikhil, India opted to bat. Do you think that rather for a warm-up game like this, shouldn't they have looked to chase? Because remember, England's main forte has been knowing the total and going at it with one gear. Wait, I think
We're having some
in
audio
the
issues.
toss or what they have to do.
1 minute. I think some
because-
audio issues there. We are just sorting that out.
You can't hear me?
Now we can. Yeah.
I'm saying I don't think the Indian team is half as worried as you are, Siddharth, about chasing or batting first or batting second. I'll tell you why. Because we heard from Rohit Sharma, the captain, who just came and said that for us it's a formality. This game is just a formality. It doesn't matter in terms of what we have to do. There's nothing, I mean, a quote unquote, he says nothing much to gain as well in that particular quote in this game. So clearly the Indian team is not taking this rather seriously in terms of what should they do, how they should go about it. Also, when asked as to why did he decide to bat first, he had no cricketing logic, as you're talking about. He said basically it's so hot I don't want my bowlers to get tired before the all-important World Cup. So I want them to, sit in the dressing room while the heat is there. Our batters can then do the job, and bowlers then can come when it's much, pleasant in the evening. Because I really want my bowlers to go in fresh for the World Cup. So that's the logic why he's decided to bat first. So, and he also, as I said, he said nothing much for us to gain from this game, because as he mentions that earlier, the kind of games that they've had from the Asia Cup moving on to the Australia series, he said that's enough. Like, we had a lot of games that we've played, and that's good enough. I mean, 7-8 games that they've played, and he says that's good enough for us to prepare for a World Cup. This is just a quote unquote, he's used this word, formality for us. In fact, Josh Butler as well, when he came later and spoke about what is he going to do, even he mentioned that the only reason that they're focusing on this game is to just get accustomed to the Indian conditions. There's not much that they are looking forward to in terms of doing anything differently or strategically. He only said that maybe just get used to the conditions, and that's the only thing that they're looking forward to right now in this game. So kind of tells you the mindset. Also, Josh Butler made it very clear that they're going to give everyone a go. So just as you saw, I don't know whether Siddharth was celebrating yesterday his New Zealand team beating Pakistan, but they played every possible person
they did.
From their squad. So that kind of result doesn't really count for anything. So with that in mind, that is what England is going to do. I mean, it's more of fun and games. We can all get excited. Look at maybe I think for batters, to get some runs is something that it's always good to keep that momentum going. That's what they're looking at. For the bowlers, they're not going to go full throttle. In fact, again, as I mentioned, just as Rohit Sharma used the word formality, very interesting choice of words from Josh Butler, where he says that we are not going to be going full throttle. So we're not going to be playing with the same intensity that we will be playing in the World Cup. So, make whatever you want of these two statements. So pretty much it's a day out for the boys. They'll just have a bit of a bowl, a bit of a bat. Yesterday New Zealand was even retiring players when they were chasing 300 plus. The way they were batting, they could have chased 400 also yesterday. But they then used all the batters. So I think that's the kind of game that you will get to see in this one also, India-England.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we are wondering. Now, see, we had said, is this India-Australia series really important? Because 3 matches you want to play high intensity. But then, can that same question be asked? Is our World Cup warm-ups really...
See, I think they're necessary in the sense that obviously you want your players to get a little bit of game time. But let's not get ourselves into thinking these are competitive matches.
No,
they're absolutely not.
They aren't. Because see, if Rohit Sharma's body language, he was laughing, he was chill, he was just in that sense. So, see, India playing 2 warm-up games now, and maybe they are only going to play 1.
Considering the weather.
Considering the weather in Thiruvananthapuram, which is absolutely woeful. I mean, this Australia-Netherlands game also is in threat of being a washout. India are playing there on the 3rd, and doesn't look good at that point. So, look at that batting lineup. It'll be interesting to see that batting lineup of both teams. Both, we may say, are the 2 most powerful team sides when it comes to batting, along with Australia.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
2 most powerful. I mean, look at it, Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill. Will there be any changes to the batting lineup? I don't know. Maybe Rohit and Shubman will open. Virat might open. In the Netherlands game, you can make those changes. I'll be interesting to see how they approach the batting order in that sense. Will they give
I
Isham?
think anyone who gets 50, 100% is retirement.
Yeah. I mean, unless the crowd say, Virat, we want 100.
100 in an uncompetitive game that doesn't
Exactly.
count towards your records really doesn't make any inkling of a difference.
By the way, there is a fair bit of a crowd coming at
Of course,
Barsapara.
as long as you get a crowd. Don't forget it's a Saturday.
It's an Indian
Is
team
Yeah.
in India.
Yeah, it's not like Hyderabad. They should have played behind closed doors because they couldn't.
No, actually, for the crowds, it's even better opportunity because it's not like a competitive game. But if you're going to see all your batters bat, so if they've come to see batting and all of them, if your batting is going to be till number 9, number 10, then a perfect scenario for you to be there. So for the crowds, it's a great opportunity to look at that sort of and that most crowds actually turn up to be watching 4s and 6s. So I mean, they'll have a gala time, and I think more, and you get the sentiment of both Rohit as well as Josh Butler. I think it's more to these practice games are more for the visiting teams to gain because they get used to the conditions more. For the home team, I think instead of gaining, they only end up losing. What can really, I mean, what is it that you're going to gain from your conditions? You're pretty well versed with that, with those conditions. You're born and brought up on those conditions. You play a year long on those conditions. You play the IPL, so you know each ground pretty well. So not much to gain, but there is a lot to lose. God forbid there's an injury. So I think that is something that the Indian team is going to be guarding against, like to ensure that there's no injury in these warm-up games. Nothing much that you're going to gain from that. For visiting teams, I can understand. Even though Josh Butler mentioned there that a lot of his players play the IPL, so they also are anyway accustomed to the conditions here in India. But again, for those who don't, maybe they can just get into the groove. I mean, take the example of Harry Brook. You know, he's done so well across the globe, but had a woeful IPL. Barring that, I think he got one big knock. He got 100, I think, if I'm not mistaken. There was just that one knock that he played, which was outstanding, or a big knock, I remember. Yeah, he did. Yeah. So just barring that one knock, he did precious little throughout that IPL. So for players who have not been playing IPL over the years or have not played any IPL, for them it makes sense. But the English team also would be guarding an injury. I believe there was a lot of hangama, a lot of hue and cry about their journey, you know, them traveling in economy class, getting to Guwahati. But I don't blame them, you know. Reaching Guwahati is not easy, even if you go by flights. So sometimes you have to make those, you have to take sometime connecting flights as well. So a bit tired. They're already tired by those flights. So I don't know how much energy they're going to put into the field. As I mentioned, Josh has already said that they're not going to be showing that much intensity. But even if they were in a mood to show the maximum amount of intensity, I guess they got really tired traveling economy class.
I mean, you may say two flights they would have had to change. London to Dubai, Dubai to Delhi, Delhi to Guwahati.
I think it was just the last flight that was economy, the domestic flight. Not the whole journey from England. There's no chance.
Yeah, I mean, if they had to take.
But I can't understand what is the problem in traveling economy. Indian players also travel economy. I mean, just so that everyone knows what happens in each flight, there are only very limited business class seats. So when the entire squad is going to be traveling, and sometimes those business class seats are booked also, one or two may be booked. So at best, you know, 5-6 players get a chance to travel business class. The remaining have to. And I remember this, I don't know exactly if it happens now, till a few years ago, they used to keep rotating those, players, the Indian players, in terms of who gets business class. So if you got it in one stretch, the other gets it the other stretch. So they used to do that. Sometimes they would even do, I remember when MS was captain, sometimes they would even have this kind of rule that fast bowlers, who are usually long and require more leg space, they were given business class seats and the others did. So for them to be complaining about traveling in economy is a bit awkward. I mean, I'm sure they travel economy otherwise as well. As I said, there isn't enough space for everyone to fit in. And I think the problem more than the economy could be, and I'm just gauging from the picture, I don't know what you guys think, the problem was more about, you know, people crowding them and trying to take selfies and so on and so forth, you know, those sort of things that happened, I think, which trouble them more rather than travel economy. And I think that could be the grouse, not so much traveling economy class.
That's what I thought as well, because again, there's no way 40 odd people are traveling business. So I think the thing would have been longer flight, because of course so many connecting, and then on top of that, having to be crowded out like that, after a long flight can get a little bit irritating.
It is, and that to 38-40 hours.
Yeah, I still think everyone is reading too much into this. Maybe there was no explanation, right? There was just that picture, and it said utter chaos. I think it could also mean that, you know, Indians, as soon as the flight has landed, everyone just gets up and.
That is the most irritating thing.
Yeah, so it could be about that as well.
Why can't you wait? Just go out in an order. No, everyone will get out like it's the damn Delhi.
It could be about that as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be about, you know, traveling economy or whatever.
So I see everyone going, I'll wait. I'm like, no, you get out first, because this flight's not going to take off after everyone's cleared out. So just go peacefully, but they don't do that.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, I remember once there was criticism also that when Indians were traveling, I think it was in an overseas trip or something, the plane was in danger, or I think it was about to crash or make an emergency landing. At that time, all of them just hoarded stuff and crowded the exit points because they wanted to get out first.
I want to be surprised, but I'm not.
It's not. I mean, we are not.
But yeah,
in the Mumbai locals, we can just make it thoda adjust kar lo, where 4 need to sit, 8 can sit. But in the flights and all, they can be very, very painful to travel.
It can become utter chaos.
Utter chaos, in the words of Johnny Bairstow. I think so. Bairstow, Vokes. Where was Wood? Normally, Wood and Vokes travel together, isn't it?
Yeah,
because Wood is scared of
it
flying.
was Butler.
No, I saw in one row. Bairstow, Wood. But where was Bairstow, Vokes? Where was Wood?
Exactly. Normally, you're right. They do travel together because alphabetical. I think maybe because this was a long flight, there ended up being some.
Yeah, because Wood is also scared of flying.
Yeah, Wood has a fear of flying. So Vokes sits with him and they're like besties in that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like sympathize with him. I'm also scared of flying.
Oh really?
Yes, I'm very scared of
Turbulence makes me sleep.
flying. No?
Yeah, it's calming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a very scared flyer, so that's why I prefer the train any single day. But if I have to go overseas, can't take the train, I have to take the flight. Okay, so Ravi Ashwin was speaking. Ash Anna was speaking with the media that time. He's
Not
saying,
media, he's speaking to the broadcaster.
host broadcasters there. He's saying, I honestly wasn't thinking about being here. Okay. So
I
he's
agree.
very honest about that. At least he's honest that I honestly wasn't thinking about being here. But as he's said very often also, this could be my last World Cup in India. Obviously. Where he won't play in 2027, he'll be 41 at that
And just
time.
2027 isn't even in India. So.
Yeah, it's in South Africa,
Yeah.
Zimbabwe.
Why can't he play till 41, 43-year-old Rohan Bopanna just won the gold medal,
Gold
right?
medal, yeah.
Mixed doubles.
But again, Ashwin is maybe I can kind of modify that. He's a World Cup to World Cup bolter. Maybe it can happen. He just plays only World
But
Cups.
don't forget, 2024 also was a World Cup. Huh?
Oh yeah. But I think T20s, you're moved
I
past.
thought we moved past him in ODIs also.
No.
It
It is because your number 8 has not yet been sorted and the team management thinks, oh, I think he can be that last solution that is there. Because you wanted a combination of a guy who can bat like Aksar, bowl like Shardul. Washington, I don't know, suddenly they had just chucked him out. Suddenly they found Ravichandran Ashwin. Suddenly.
Anyway, I think today, by the way, a lot of eyes are going to be on Ashwin as well.
Absolutely.
Again,
But this could be my last World Cup for India.
100% most likely. I mean, who knows? But he's just saying there is a code.
Good. But anyway, he's making a good career outside of cricket with his media, his analysis and all that.
His YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, he's quite good in that. And
Ashwin's
if he
become an
caters-
influencer.
if he caters to the local Tamil populace, he can be mind-blowing
Sure.
because of his insights. So, Ash Anna, as always, let's see how he does well in this. He'll have 4 left-handers to bowl to the...
England do have a fair few left-handers.
Yeah, they
There's
have-
Malan,
There's Willie, there's Moeen,
Moeen, there is forgetting others also.
there's
Just show me the 15.
Yeah. There is
Ben Stokes.
Ben
Moeen
Stokes,
Ali.
of course, he's got a great
Sam
record against Ben Stokes.
Sam Curran.
Yep, so Malan, Stokes, Moeen, Curran, Willie. Wow,
That's 5 left-handers.
5 assured wickets in a sense.
Short wickets, I don't know, but he'll definitely enjoy bowling against them.
Yep. So, let's see how England and India will both approach this. Because if it's like the game against Pakistan, New Zealand, how it was, started off very slowly. Towards the fag end, it just picked up, and New Zealand were stuck in 5th gear right from the very beginning at this point. So, quite a way. And King D, why you won't play? I was confident for 2 months that Ashwin could be paratrooped. That happened. You are also confident that
We all had that gut feeling, I think.
Yep. So
Donald Trump cricket, I think my mic is sorted now. Thanks for the heads up.
Yep. So I'll be interested to see how the intent is from this team. Okay, it's a warm-up game, no problem. But how they bat, how they bowl, team composition. and all that.
Do I see covers coming on?
No, I think those are just the covers.
No, they were coming on.
I think
The pitch is already covered.
I think this is Thiruvananthapuram, if I'm not mistaken. That's Thiruvananthapuram.
Are we sure?
Yeah, Barsapara is absolutely
Why?
Barsapara is dry.
So
Hot
much
and dry.
confusion.
See, there are only 2 warm-up games today. One is Australia-Netherlands in Thiruvananthapuram and one is here. Tomorrow there are 3, if I'm not mistaken. And, been a bit rainier than expected. No,
That's Mark Wood's thing.
Okay.
But Wood said that. Wood has said that in Guwahati also the 2 days that they've been there, it's been raining. So he did mention that. So I don't know whether the covers are on in Guwahati or Thiruvananthapuram. I do not know, but it had also been raining in Guwahati, and that doesn't surprise me. Northeast of the country gets rain almost throughout the year. In fact, I think it's the wettest part of the country. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's raining, and maybe the players would be happier because the English players have been complaining about how hot it is and how they've had a long flight and so on. So they would be happy if it rains. Maybe brings the heat levels down. India anyway is going to be bowling second half. But few things that I'm looking forward to in this game, because I think just like England have made it clear they're going to play the entire squad. I think India will also play the entire squad. Few things that I think, even though Rohit said that they've had enough practice, few things that I'd really look forward to maybe in this game, those areas that you're not still 100%. Shreyas Iyer maybe bats a bit more, spends more time. He's shown good form in that Australia series, but again, as I said, he's just come. So maybe you'd want him to get more game time, get more runs under his belt. So that's one opportunity for Shreyas, that I'd be looking forward to how he performs. Maybe Ashwin as well. He's come in last moment. The jury is still out whether he can be that wicket-taking bowler as well as the all-rounder. So maybe some game time for him in terms of batting as well as bowling, and it'll be a good test against a rampaging English batting lineup that going to play a lot of their batters. So that's another thing that I'm going to look forward to. Ditto for Shardul Thakur, because we know he can pick up wickets but can be expensive. Again, a great test to be batting against all firing English batting lineup. So you then get to see whether he can then also do the containing role. So these are 4 or 5 guys that I'll be watching very closely, because as I said, if you have those little bit of doubts, then it'll be regarding these 3-4 players. And so if you get to see another dimension from them, different to what you expect out of them or what you've been seeing with them, then maybe that will give confidence to Indian fans as well as the Indian captain then going forward when you actually sit down and make that 11. So that is something that I'm looking forward to.
You will have to wait for it because it's pouring at this moment in Barsapara. It is.
That's what.
It is. And suddenly, remember, the ground staff were caught unawares and they were scrambling to get the covers. And remember, Barsapara has had a very tortured history when it comes to outfield and all this, because remember,
that's why they're covering most of the outfield actually.
It's not looking good. And remember, once in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, January 2020, the T20 against Sri Lanka got abandoned. Why? One wet patch near the pitch
Didn't
dry. So they remember the hairdryer. It was at Barsapara. So
are there any helicopters coming in today?
No helicopters. No fly zone. No there. Yeah. So no helicopters. That can only happen in the PSL. I'm sorry. And you won't see those contraptions with fans also that
Sri Lanka.
That the Ketarama had used. So again rain.
That was actually really smart. If you look, they also had lights. Like really big lights.
Yeah, those
on
Klieg lights
panel.
that they have got hot lights which ensure that they dry the surface in the pitch. But it is raining and we are in for a delay. So we'll have to update that. Rain has delayed the start of the India-England encounter in Barsapara.
Why? What is it with rain?
From Colombo all the way now till Guwahati. Only rain, nothing else.
You've had rain, remember you had rain interruptions even in the Australia series?
Yes, Indore, 33 over game it was reduced to.
Wherever Indian team is going,
rain follows.
Except Rajkot. There was no rain in Rajkot. Which other game? Mohali, there was a slight rain delay for 15-20 minutes. Here, even in Pakistan, New Zealand, Hyderabad, there was a rain delay for half an hour. Nothing happened there. South Africa, Afghanistan totally washed out. Yesterday, ironically, no rain delay in Barsapara. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh.
but today it happened.
It happened. So, rain. 60% of the ground is under covers. I would suggest they cover 100% of it because there's one damp patch. That's it.
Gone.
Oh boy, it's really
pouring.
pelting
It's
down.
gotten worse. It's gotten worse.
It's gotten worse. Indeed. We are in for a long delay, folks. Sorry.
I'm more worried about the ground not being covered.
Yeah. Because remember, in this kind of rain, this kind of rain was enough to decimate the outfield at the Ketarama.
Yeah.
This is India we are talking about. Sorry, folks. I think the ground staff have got unawares and they have not covered the entire pitch. Why?
It's a bad time.
Very bad time, very bad time. And considering that this match is going on, and on top of that, in the Asian Games today, towards the evening itself, you've got so much of action. For the first time, I think this next week you're going to see more action in the evening, not so much in the morning, because from 1st October onwards, shooting ends. So India's medal tally in shooting might halt at 20, and more dark clouds.
Rolling in.
That's about third man, and again mid wicket side not covered. Again, we'll want to look at weather experts. We all have to turn weather experts again.
Once again.
Please, I thought
we were done with that once the Asia Cup was done with.
No.
But no.
But clearly not.
Clearly not. And Soumya Dasgupta, Jadeja needs to get good batting time. That one major worry in the possible playing level. But Soumya Dasgupta, for that to happen, the rain has to stop.
Yeah. Right now we need to. The major worry will be if anyone gets a batting time.
Exactly.
Because it's in danger of a washout, my friends. If it continues like this,
It's still, by the way, uncovered. That side of the crowd.
about 60-40% of the ground is still not covered. And
Yeah.
remember, Barsapara's outfield doesn't drain well, unfortunately. It happened in 2020 with that one patch. The umpires did express their concern. I don't know what are the playing conditions. I don't know whether after 1 hour or 1.5 hours play, overs will start to reduce. And is it 4 overs, 4 minutes per over? I don't know about all that.
We will know soon enough. For warm-ups, they might not be so lenient, let's say.
Yeah, Akash Bharadwaj, guys, are you seeing UZ anytime soon in any World Cup? I think his World Cup time is over.
Very unfortunate, but yeah, I'm not so sure.
Unless
he picks about 40 wickets in the IPL.
Yeah, that
30, I think would be realistic.
I would.
No, he will get past the mark of 32, then take about 5-6 more. Then he will have a chance. Only then. Otherwise, it's over, my friends, for Yuzi Chahal when it comes to World
I
Cup.
mean, never say never, but yeah, short-term future, it doesn't look very promising.
ODIs, I think he's done. How old is Yuzi Chahal? 32?
Yeah,
33?
if I'm not wrong, yeah.
Okay, he might have one more T20 World Cup in him in 2024. But that is only if he does well in the IPL.
4-6, don't forget, also will be a T20 World Cup here. T20 World Cups are held every
20,
2 years now.
2026, right? In 2026, there will be a totally different team altogether.
It will be a very different team even in 24, but let's
Yeah.
see.
So, Dex is saying, you might say I'm deviating away from realism, but the fact is New Zealand destroyed Pakistan yesterday and they will destroy Pak in main draw too. We
Don't
hope
count
so.
anything into these
But
results.
I'm saying hope so because don't read too much into these warm-ups. Maybe
Exactly.
teams don't approach it with intensity at all.
Yeah.
That's the reason. Just to get a feel of how the situation and the conditions is. Now I cannot see one part of the stand also. It's that pouring. It's pelting down in Barsapara at this time. So
It's going to be a long delay.
hey, it's going to be a long delay indeed. And remember, unfortunately, the weather even for 3rd of October in Thiruvananthapuram is not good for India and Netherlands. Why? Indradev, why?
Well, indeed.
Yeah, indeed. Freaking awesome. More than any other teams, I think New Zealand and Pakistan will get affected the most due to rain in this World Cup, considering the venues.
Actually, yeah, Pakistan do have a lot of
Hyderabad. New Zealand also are not going that up north
My
by 15th.
goodness, look at that.
Yeah,
getting worse.
it's getting worse. More covers
There
are
was
coming
this
on.
one, I mean, they must have shown it accidentally, but the camera was pointing the ground like
Puddles.
below and puddle.
Puddles. Well done, Gargi. Well done. She was the first one to spot the rain,
Then we thought
and
they were showing the wrong stadium.
I know because even
Oh,
in
look
Thiru,
at that. Jesus. Oh, no.
I think all our analysis and everything we'll have to wait until October
God for
3rd,
God.
Nikhil, because it's absolutely lashing down.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah,
There's
but-
no way this game is happening.
No, you know what? Fans may be upset, but I think both teams, or at least more so India, would be much more relieved. It again, I repeat, that didn't sound like from Rohit Sharma's toss.
Yeah.
No, not a press conference, but the toss interaction, that he was very keen on this game, and I don't think too many Indian players also were very keen. And even strategically, also you don't want to show all your cards, so that's one thing. And as I said, more to lose than to gain. You could even get injured, and if it can get even worse and more dangerous for injuries if it's raining, and then you try and come back, because sometimes no matter how much you dry it, there could be patches that could
Yes.
turn out to be dangerous. So even a worse situation for any team to be playing. So I think India wouldn't really mind if this game does not go ahead. I think the only ones, I think England also wouldn't mind. Again, gauging from what we'd heard from Josh Butler, they would have probably slightly more than India wanted some sort of a hit out in the middle on Indian pitches. That's all. The only one disappointed would be those number of fans that have turned up in Guwahati who don't get opportunities very regularly to be seeing all these top level stars.
Exactly.
Them and I think the television audiences, all of us are going to be far more disappointed than I think the players themselves.
I mean, Barsapara's rotten luck continues. I mean, even in 2020, there was this rain delay. Start of the new year, new season, the first game didn't happen. I think you had only a couple of ODIs against the West Indies that has stood out. But again, from October till about March, that's the worst time in the northeast for rain, because that's when the northeast monsoon begins. And that impact also happens in Tamil Nadu and also in southern parts of Andhra Pradesh also. So I think either it was Dex or Freaking Awesome who said that, yeah, Pakistan and New Zealand's matches could get impacted.
Freaking awesome.
Freaking Awesome, yes. I think you're right. Looking at the weather, as I said, for Thiruvananthapuram also, it's not looking good for third. So why can't we have stadiums with roofs? Where's the money? And why would you want to have stadiums with roofs? For that, you cannot play at a venue for 3 to 4 years. It takes time. It takes time to build a roof, my friend. So hard time for India and squash. Yeah, India, Pakistan there also. But I am not surprised with the squash domination of Pakistan, because growing up, okay, Nikhil's also gone, and if you look at it, squash, two greats who dominated for close to 2 decades, Jahangir Khan and Jamsher Khan. And has it cleared up?
No,
look, you can see sun.
That's the old.
Yeah, I think it's the old visual.
Old visuals. Don't get trigged.
No,
They're
because
really
look at them putting
tricking
it
us.
off.
No, that's
No,
the
this is
old visual.
This is old visual. Yeah. I saw. I don't know who that is. Is it the England
The
star?
same visual was playing some time ago.
Yeah,
She's right.
I recognize these now.
Yeah. See, it's not looking good.
Let's take a few comments.
This is the current one.
This is the. This was the old one before the break.
Scroll up. We'll take some from the top.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shreyansh Pudupetti is saying that why is Tamim's case not applicable to Head and Williamson? Tamim's case is an entirely different thing, my friend. Don't even go there. It's become a public mudsling fest at this point.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Look at the TV.
Ooh,
Look at the puddles of water that has been accumulated
That's
on the
not good.
pitch, on the covers rather. And but they are not covered that entire down.
Yeah, I don't think
Imagine-
you're getting a match there.
Yeah, you're not. I'm calling it. This is being washed out.
You're not getting any match today.
Oh no, this is
Oh, that is the other one.
Thiruvananthapuram.
Oh my god. They
That's
should have a header.
Thiruvananthapuram.
Yeah, they should have some sort of a band somewhere specific where
Where-
it's from.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Thiruvananthapuram, and I think it's been raining even there also for the past 2 hours. And
But it has stopped raining now, but it's still like bad.
no, but
Yeah.
the outfield would have taken a pounding.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's take a few more comments. Akash Bhargava says, do you think England play the same way like last time? Will this pitch allow? Pitch will allow, but I doubt they're going to be playing with much intensity. Their own captain has said it. Their own captain has said we're not going to be playing with much intensity.
But first, the rain has to stop, my friend.
Yeah, let's just scroll down slightly. There was one comment I wanted to take. Yeah, it was from Dex. It's there only.
Niche.
Yeah. Do you remember Juan Pablo Montoya?
Who doesn't remember?
You remember the one from his son, by the way, now is racing in F3.
Yeah.
He's a Red Bull Junior.
Red Bull Junior.
Yeah.
Sebastian Montoya, I think his name
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Sebastian Montoya. But
Juan
again,
Pablo lives in our phones every day through the memes.
is. Yeah. Especially that one rather infamous moment from a press conference.
Yeah.
Where this one journalist kept making jokes about one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 1,000.
One,
references.
yep.
Yeah.
And I remember him for one very notorious incident that happened in Monaco.
Schumacher.
The
Yeah.
tunnel.
Oh no, I remember him for another thing where I think he was trying to overtake Schumacher and Schumacher almost ran into him.
At
And
Austria, right?
I'm not sure if it was Austria, I don't know where it was. And I remember Schumacher said that I didn't see him. And,
Austria, A1,
yeah, And Montoya said, yeah, I'm right alongside him. Overtaking him, must be blind not to see me.
Yeah.
He is definitely
But-
someone who didn't suffer fools.
If we're talking about Formula One, it's Max Verstappen's birthday today.
Oh, yes.
Oh, good for him.
It's Max's birthday. Super Max, yep.
He's
But-
born one day after me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And in between Harshit.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah, Juan Pablo, I remember, he was a straight talker. And
And I remember from another thing, he ended up, I think his race with McLaren, or his time at McLaren was compounded by the fact that he picked up an injury.
oh, yeah.
It was either, there's contrasting rumors, either while he was biking or B, playing tennis. We don't know which it is.
Okay.
How do you do that? Anyway,
But I think the one guy from South America, I think, was he the last South American representation? Barrichello among all those guys. Felipe Massa, Barrichello, Juan Pablo.
Racers from the Brazil side of things.
Yeah, Senna.
Senna, Bruno.
No, I'm
Senna.
saying,
biggest.
okay, after PK, Senna, but then for the past decade?
No, why?
Massa was
Checo,
driving.
you have Sergio Perez.
Checo's from North America.
From
Don't be
Mexico.
Helmut
South.
Marko.
Oh, sorry.
He's
I'm
Mexico.
so bad.
Don't be Helmut Marko.
No, so that's what. After PK and Massa and all those, we haven't had that big a South American representation.
Checo does have South American roots.
He's making Fraser under the Mexican flag. Mexico is North America.
North America.
Can't
It's
be-
CONCACAF. It's not CONMEBOL. Even in football, Mexico comes under CONCACAF.
In continental wise, Mexico is part of North America.
Yeah.
It's not South American. Right now, how many are there any South American?
There aren't. If I'm looking at the roster.
No, there's not that many Brazilians. I mean, they've adopted Lewis Hamilton as their.
Yeah, but none from Argentina, none from Colombia.
You don't get many from
No,
there now.
no.
Yeah, I mean Fangio was the last great Argentinian in that sense.
Yeah.
And you had Senna, you had Barrichello, you had PK,
Massa.
Massa.
But that's it.
That's it. I thought this guy would have made a big splash, but I think it couldn't work out. Elio Castroneves.
No.
Castroneves was doing well in Indianapolis and Indy 500.
But Indy 500 and Moto and F1 are two very different.
Yeah.
disciplines. I know it's single seater racing, but the skills required.
Yeah, Fittipaldi, Emerson Fittipaldi, and also son also, right, participated.
Oh no, yeah, he's right. Actually, yeah, Fittipaldi. No, currently Fittipaldi is the reserve for Haas, if I'm not wrong.
Oh.
Enzo Fittipaldi.
Enzo.
Plus, there is also Felipe Drugovich.
Yes.
But he's in F2, right?
No, Drugovich is done with F2. He won F2 last year. He's the
He's the
reserve
reserve.
driver for Aston Martin.
Oh,
Could
is it?
potentially be making it onto the grid next year if rumors are
I had
true.
interviewed Felipe Drugovich in 2018 when he was in Dubai. Remember for that MRF racing?
MRF racing, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so
Drugovich also would count, yes.
Yeah, he's Brazilian.
Yeah, he's Brazilian.
Yep.
Damata, he's right, yeah, but that was also a long time
But
back.
Damata, wasn't he from
Toyota.
Portugal?
Was he?
Cristiano Damata. Or
I
was
don't
he
know.
from Brazil? Maybe.
Maybe Brazil.
Maybe. Yep. So, Kushagra Singh, what is about Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar? Is there a fast lane
Roman.
pay-per-view coming?
No, there is, but they're not facing off. Anyway,
Wait,
let's
Brock
see.
Lesnar is still.
Yeah, of course.
What?
Yeah.
It's been
he's
so
still-
long.
Yeah,
20
he's still
years.
there. He's
22 years?
Yeah, around that.
Around that much. I think one
My
of the greatest
goodness.
performers.
When I
probably-
used to watch him, he was still old, pretty old back
He's
then.
40 odd now.
Oh my
He's,
goodness.
he's 40. I thought he was near 50.
No. He's 40 something. Because remember when he first made it onto the
Mid-40s.
I think it was 21, 22 when
Yeah,
he
he
beat
was
The
very
Rock.
young. He was very young.
Yeah.
So back then he was very young.
One of the greatest, I would
I'd say
say.
he's one of the greatest across, let's say, combat sports. That man won a UFC title in his second fight.
Yeah.
Plus WWE swept all.
He's
Won
done
and
everything,
of
man.
course
Won
ended
in
the
21
streak.
won. Yeah.
We still have no update.
It's
And
still
I think we
ringing.
can actually call up this live because
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's gonna be.
There's only a lot of Asian Games action coming up, and we'll have to do all the other things as well.
So yeah, we'll see you guys when we have a concrete update on when exactly this match resumes. Right now, I will admit it's not looking very good.
No,
it isn't
it's
looking
not.
good. The toss has happened. Maybe at 3:30 onwards, if it doesn't start, you'll start losing overs.
Yeah.
Maybe the toss is the extent of action you'll get today.
Maybe because it didn't look good in Guwahati. That's
It's all looking good. So we'll join you later on. Thanks for joining us on this. Unfortunately, we don't have a match yet. Fingers crossed we have one soon. Although I will admit, prospects don't look good. But stay tuned to Sports Today. Plenty more coming your way. So for now, from Gargi, me, Siddharth, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.